Welcome, everybody. This is Cami, and I'm so thankful that you are here on this special edition talking about women's health. I was at a women's health event on Saturday here in the Seattle area, and it was such an honor to be in the space of women. And we have a lot of similar issues going on and going through different changes in life and hormones and all the things. So it's such an honor to be able to share this information with you. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you brought your questions. Tonight, we won't be treating, diagnosing, or curing anything, but I did want to have Tracey share her story. It's very, if you think about women's health and issues that you might have, as you hear her unwind her story, there's going to be parts and pieces that I'm sure everybody on the call can relate to. But this poor thing has had probably almost all of them that that somebody could have as a woman. So I just want to I wanted to invite you here to have you hear hope and have you hear understanding. So it's wonderful to hear, to see some faces that I met on Saturday. So I'm honored that you're here. Thank you so much for taking time to understand what this is and what we're talking about. And tonight, just super briefly, we're talking about, I just lost my patches. We're talking about phototherapy. And again, it's non-invasive, not adding anything to the body. Here's a patch. I'll take it off so you can see what it looks like. It is a wearable phototherapy patch. So Tracey's holding up her envelope of X39. I just opened my pack of Aeon here. And these are wearable patches that reflect your own body light back at your body at a frequency, and each patch has a different structure that reflects light at different frequencies that tell your body to make your own hormones, your own different peptides, and signaling your body to find the balance that is supposed to have. So there's someone on the call that had an amazing information about the spleen. And I just wanted to invite you to tell us super briefly about SP6 and the spleen. Would you be prepared to do that? She's so sweet. We talked at length. So I'm going to highlight her for just a second. Please tell me your first name again because it's
Kulan.
Kulan. Thank you so
Hi.
much. Thank you for joining us, Kulan. So she is an expert in health and wellness. So a nutritionist and specialist in Chinese medicine. And I learned so much from her. So Tracey, after I learned from her on Saturday, we were talking about SP6 and why that patch works and how it works and her understanding. Did you know not to drink iced drinks?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, fun
Good to
fact. Now,
know.
Kulan, please share with us super briefly why not to drink iced drinks.
Thank you for having me today. And my name is Kulan, and I'm holistic nutritionist from Mongolia. And I learned traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda and Tibetan medicine. And so, based on those, I'm practicing the nutrition. Based on traditional Chinese medicine, which is TCM, in Western countries, there is a very common things called spleen qi deficiency. And spleen qi deficiency are uh, why it's happening is because of the people are drinking too much cold water or iced water. And usually, spleen has two functions in Oriental medicine. The first function is it helps our nutrients to convert it into the energy. And so when we eating food or drinking something and our inner body, especially the digestive system, it's with the oxygen and converting the food nutrients to energy and uh, which is insulin production. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the pancreas and spleen, it has the similar function. And second function the spleen has is it's regulating the inner temperature. So our body, when we're drinking cold stuff, then we need to heat it up. The spleen use too much energy and then don't have other energy to convert the producing insulin. And that's why people have a lot of insulin resistance problem these days because of cold water and also because of this lack of energy. We can't produce enough, convert our food into the energy. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Wow,
much.
good to know.
We talked for so long at the event on Saturday, and just the knowledge of what she has is such, it's not common here in the United States. And it was such an honor. Thank you so much, Kulan.
You're
Um,
welcome, and thank you
and
for today's event too.
yes, well, I'm honored and I'm thankful that you're here, and look forward to having you share more information sometime. So super. So we'll unpin. Um, thank you so much. So here's my
Wonderful
friend
information.
Tracey. So Tracey has been through it in health and wellness journey. And when she was introduced to these patches, she um, thought she was losing her mind and going through the change of life and all the things. So, do you want to start what you were experiencing before you were introduced to the patches?
Absolutely. Well, I was for about 3.5 years, I was having hot flashes that were so incredibly uncomfortable and disruptive. I couldn't sleep through them. And I would wake up just sweating. And I would sleep in about, I'd say, 2 hour increments. And I was constantly tossing and turning. I was in the restroom and I didn't get sleep. And I didn't understand how damaging a lack of sleep can be to the brain. But things evolved. I got very anxiety ridden. I've never been. I'm a very calm person. I'm a very happy person. And during that phase of my life, I would just cry at the drop of a hat and I would get so anxious about silly little things. And I had a job where I needed to disseminate information, interpret information, and big money spent on different things and looking at outcomes and ROIs. And I would look at my spreadsheets and it didn't make any sense. And the people I needed to report this to, I couldn't remember most of their names. So I got really quiet and life just wasn't fun for that interim of time. And I kept thinking I had Alzheimer's. I didn't put two and two together because no doctor ever helped me figure it all out. And I'd been to 3 different OBGYNs in those 3.5 years begging for something. There must be something. And everybody wanted to give me hormone replacement therapy. But cancers run in my family, and I knew not to do that, not to mess with Mother Nature's balance. It's a fine balance for women, especially. And when we go tinkering under the hood with chemical things that were not designed for our body, we can create new problems. So I just thought, oh, I'm going to tough it out and I'm going to figure this out and hopefully I'll make it. But my hair started falling out. My hair got very thin and I had bald patches in spots. And my hairstylist and I, we would move my part from this side and then we'd move it over to that side. And my fingernails were paper thin. My skin, I'm a sun worshiper. I could never get enough sun. This company and the natural healers in this company have helped me realize why I was an addict of sun. I was lacking vitamin D, and vitamin D is the regulator, and light is the central regulating force of the entire body. So the fact that I live in, Seattle, Washington area, and I don't get enough natural sunlight, I think exacerbated a lot of that. But it also, I do believe, sadly, my generation, when I was a young kid on Saturday mornings, we'd watch cartoons. My cousins and I, we couldn't wait to wake up on Saturday morning. We'd circle the TV guide the night before, picking our commercials, right? Or I should not say the commercials, but the cartoons. But in between every cartoon was A is for apple, J is for Jacks, right? Cinnamon toasty apple jacks. I could sing you every song of every cereal. And my lovely mom just wanted to give me what I wanted. And she let me order all of these great things at the grocery store. And we didn't realize what was happening. Um, but that's not a good way to eat. Eating cardboard and sugar is not good for your body. And like how Kulan was just explaining the SB6 and the connection between the spleen and the pancreas and insulin being a hormone, I got all my hormones really out of whack. But sadly, I started out with cystic acne as a young girl. And my mom took me to doctors, and I got all sorts of medicines that ended with saline. So was it doxycycline? Was it
Mhm.
tetracycline? I had all of those. Nobody told us there was a risk of these. And we'd try one for, 6 months, 9 months, and I'd still be, all these, the breakouts were always around here. And when you
Mhm.
see these, then you know that's hormone related. And sadly, the doctors didn't know how to help me other than prescriptions. And then we went the naturopathic route. Then I learned I had a leaky gut. I didn't know what that meant. He just told me take all of these other supplements. Nobody ever explained any of this. It was just, oh, you're, in and out of an office with all of these little prescription forms that you take to your pharmacy. And I would willingly take these things, but I didn't understand what I was doing to my body. So that was the precursor to me thinking I had Alzheimer's. But then, I go through life and I'm living with these terribly embarrassing cysts. And I had those until age 56, I will tell you. When these patches came into my life is when I finally got my hormones in balance and those horrible cysts went away. And I can't tell you how amazing it is to not have to hide and just live in embarrassment from that skin condition. But when you get your hormones in balance, great things happen. But sadly for me, I went on to college and ended up getting married and had a pretty high stress job, which doesn't do good things for hormones either. So don't
Mhm.
think it's just what you eat and it's not just your genetics. You really got to look at your life. You got to look at balance. And you have to take
Mhm.
time for you and meditation and yoga and walking and exercise. Critically important when you have that stress cooker on you. But I finally got pregnant and I had tried and that was my goal in life. I just wanted to be a mom. And of course I needed to live in this expensive world. I needed a job, but having kids was paramount importance for me. And sadly at 23 weeks, we learned that I had two giant fibroids in the wall of my uterus. They were the size of a small cantaloupe, large grapefruit. And that baby, unfortunately, the blood got stolen from that baby by these vicious fibroids. Those fibroids are a byproduct of an imbalanced hormonal life and stress and not a great diet. And I didn't know any of that at the time. Nobody really did. And my OBGYN was not really sure if she could even save my uterus. So I went through a miscarriage. I had to wait a month for my hormones to die down because when you're pregnant, your hormones are raging, right? And I have these fibroids. They had to let them shrink because they were driven by hormones. So I had 1 month and it was terrible. I couldn't go to work. I could hardly walk. I was in so much pain. It was misery. And thankfully, a really nice doctor, Dr. Roger Lee, who we had on this call last week, I attribute the savior of my uterus and the birth of my two amazing boys that are now teenagers in college wouldn't have happened without Dr. Roger because thankfully he was at a dinner party that my mom set up for me to attend. And they were all tennis partners. And she wanted me to tell him my story and what was happening. I did not know he was a gynecologist, oncologist is really his specialty. But we were family friends, and he felt bad for what I was going through. And he said, I'm going to assist your surgeon. I'm going to make sure we not only save that uterus, I'm not going to do that vertical cut that she's talking about. I'm giving you a bikini cut because your mom has a pool up there. And I know you like to swim, and you probably don't want to look at that swimmer the
Oh,
rest of your life. So how blessed was I to get to have this wonderful man, and he's made such a difference in so many lives. And now I got to repay the favor to him because I shared these with him, and that's a whole nother story. And he had a kidney transplant, wasn't doing
yes.
well. But anyway, this is about hormones, but I'm just giving you my journey because I went on after that first miscarriage. They had me wait a year. And then they told me I should probably go to a fertility clinic and work with experts who could help me. And I did. And they realized that I didn't have progesterone in my system. I had excessive estrogen. I could get pregnant, but I could not carry the pregnancy because at week 12 with my second pregnancy,
Mm.
again, I lost it. The third pregnancy at week 8, I lost it. And then um, after 3 miscarriages, that is when my doctor told me I was now qualified for hormone studies with the gift clinic in Tacoma. And I was shocked that they would let you go through 3 miscarriages before they'd ever even look at your hormones. And I said to her, you mean we could have, done something earlier? She goes, oh, yes, but your insurance wouldn't have covered it. I said, well, how much money are we talking? $400. And so when these came to me, I was a wreck. And I needed to retire from my job. I had put in my notice 6 months before these came. It took a year for them to replace my position. And these did not come from me. These were given as a gift to my then boyfriend, who's now my husband, my soulmate, because he had spinal fusion surgery and wouldn't heal. And within 2 weeks of him using a combination of these patches, we went skiing 3 days a row in Utah for Christmas. And we just couldn't believe it. And his friend had loaned us these patches to be paid back at some point. And when we got home, I went to order these from his friend's sister, Joyce, who's on here tonight. And she told me I needed these. And I was like, well, I don't have pain. Why would I need those? And she goes, oh, no, 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 no. It's about genetic age and biological age. And we can turn back the hands of time and we can fix. Do you have anything going on? And I was like, oh, you don't even want to know. I gave her my big laundry list. And she's like, oh, that's amazing. Well, you need the X39. We need to work on those regenerative cells for you. We need to work on an anti-inflammatory. That's the Aeon patch, spelled Aeon, the one Cami was just showing you. That is raising a peptide in the liver, responsible for pulling inflammation out of the body. But the really important one I needed because of my hormone imbalance was the one I still to this day sleep with every single night between my eyebrows. It's called Alavida, and it's decalcifying my pineal gland. And I didn't realize how important a pineal gland was, but it calcifies naturally. And sadly, in today's age, with our stress, our diet, our fluoride, our chlorine, those are the things that really collect on that gland. But that pineal gland can be decalcified with that Alavida, and it brings back your own melatonin. Again, a hormone. So it's doing hormone balancing. It's working on the frontal lobe of the brain. It got me sleeping. Oh my goodness, the first night I used it, I slept 9 hours straight. I happened to be at a friend's house in Arizona. That was not the plan. I did not set an alarm clock. We were to get up early and go hiking. And here I come stumbling out of the bedroom at 10 in the morning, and everyone was looking at me waiting. They're all dressed and ready to go hiking. And I just came out of my amazing deep slumber. That night I shared the patches with 2 of my girlfriends that were there too. But amazing, because I had no idea that what I was dealing with could be reversed. But Eric and I, we were very skeptical. No one ever talked about the power of light. They never talked about phototherapy, photobiomodulation. That is the big long word. But if you go back in Roman times, Grecian times, light has been used to make change in the body for years. Red light therapy, so many different things. But we still
So tell me
skeptical.
I have 3 more things. Tell me about hair, tell me about thyroid, and tell me about uh that
Probably
fast
my
growing cells of the breast.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So 4.5 months into these. Now, mind you, I became a believer very quickly. I was lucky. I'm called a one patch wonder. Most people are not. I just want to prepare you. I don't want you to be disappointed if you're not. But I started sleeping through the night. I went to my hairstylist at 6 weeks. Mind you, Eric and I still kept laughing that these would really regenerate these amazing cells. Most people get them injected for thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Supposedly this little cheap Band-Aid does that. We couldn't believe it. Well, yeah, we started believing it. And at 4.5 months, though, all my stuff came back. My hot flashes, my brain fog, my crying, my hair started falling out again. And I went to my medical doctor and told him these patches aren't working for me anymore. I'd already told my medical doctor about these, and he was using them himself. And he laughed at me and he said, "No, they are working. I believe you are over medicated on your levothyroxine for your thyroid. I suspect your thyroid is regenerated." And my jaw dropped. And I said, "What? It's possible to regenerate a thyroid?" He goes, "Oh, yeah. When you're dealing with those cells, those are the magic cells of the body. That's how life began." And sure enough, he did blood work. I titrated down off of levothyroxine 2.5 years ago. I'm not on any single pharmaceutical med ever, and I will not again. And
And how long had you been on levothyroxine?
I'd been on it for 15 years, and I was told I'd be on it the rest of my life, and my dosage would probably go up. I just accepted it, right? I just listened to the doctors. They knew more than me. I dealt with that, and I was okay, I thought. But my hair, I got to tell you, the lady who made us be believers in this was really not the scientists and everything. It was when my hairstylist said, "Oh my goodness, what's going on with your hair?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. What do I have? Like dandruff or something? I don't know what you mean." She goes, "No, all the bald spots up here, they're filling in with these little tiny armies of hair. Like and she's lifting my hair and she's looking all over. She's like, "You've got it all over your head. I've never seen this in 30 years of doing hair. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm sleeping with this patch here. It's called Alavida. I sleep so good. And my brain's coming back in. I don't have hot flashes." I said, "But they said it activates collagen." And they did tell me it has the ability to regenerate hair for people who have balding. And she's like, "Whoa, I need this for so many of my clients. Everyone loses their hair with age. If you can bring it back, you've got some magic, something special." Anyway, yes. So my mom and I started using these the same week. I did not know that 6 weeks after my mom started wearing these every day in and day out, she would be diagnosed with fast growing cells of the breast. And we were shocked and we cried and it was terrible. And they take measurements the day of discovery, right? And
Mhm.
then I really started diving in and learning more. And I learned about a patch called glutathione. And I had my mom start that along with the X39, the Aeon, the Alavida. Now we had her on the glutathione. That's opening peptides in the body to get the stuff out that
Everything,
causes
yeah.
fast growing cells. Who knew? Who knew we could change our own body and, redirect things like the freeway managers, right? But we can.
Mhm.
And we went, she had that mass removed. And then 2 weeks later, we met with her surgeon, reviewed the pathology, and he said, "I just got to tell you, you are stage 0 on this journey of these fast growing cells. And I told you were going to need chemo and radiation." He said, I'm retracting that." He goes, "I got to show you this though." And he pulls up these big screens and goes, here's the mass when we discovered it. Here it is the day of surgery. And I'm telling you, we're talking this to this. I mean,
Wow.
and he said, "I rarely see this. I don't even know how it happened." And I said, "Could this have anything to do with these magic, regenerative cells that I can't say on this because we're being recorded?" And he said, "Well, of course, those are very anti-fast growing cells, but your mom has not had any injections of those. And that kind is not available in America any longer. You would be going to Panama, Colombia, Greece, Germany. We do not have that kind here. They are called pluripotent. They become whatever cell your body needs to regenerate, repair, prevent, right?" And I said, "Yeah, but we wear these patches on our neck and then we sleep with one here, and it brings back those cells that you're
This way.
talking about."
Come on, Lucy.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Come on,
it
let's
was
go for a
pretty
walk. Come on, up here.
pretty
Let's go.
surprising to share this knowledge with him. He thought I was crazy. And he said, well, if you think that works, keep doing it. And what he told my mom was radiation for her was optional. And I talked her out of it because by then I'd started learning enough about the body and the damage that we can do to the body that sometimes it's not reversible. But so we're very thankful. My mom does not have that condition. We go in for these tests and all this stuff. But one of the shockers of my life was bunions. I was an ice skater as a kid and a skier. And I had hideous bunions. They were like triangles. They ruined every pair of shoes. My feet hurt so bad. I'd had it surgically removed on my right foot. I swore I'd never do it again because I lived in a recliner for 2 months. And it took Chinese acupuncture to give me circulation back in my foot. It was blue foot, blue cold foot, no circulation, no repair. Not gonna ever heal if you can't get blood down there. And thankfully, it was a slow process. But you know what? Every time I went to that acupuncture doctor, what she did, she put 2 heat lamps on my feet.
Oh.
So she was using light and heat,
Mhm.
right? They all go together. And it's so beautiful because where we place these patches is based on acupressure points on the body. And about 9 months, I'd say, of me wearing these patches, I didn't realize that my bunion had gone away on my left foot until my girlfriend called and said, hey, do you think those miracle patches of yours would help with my bunions? Because they want to do that awful surgery you said you'd never do again. I'm wondering if that might help us. And I was like, whoa, gee, now you mentioned bunion. I haven't had any pain. Gosh, well, just a minute, Kathy, let me take off my shoe. And I look down and there's no bunion there. No wonder I have no pain. The bunion's gone. I take off my other shoe. I look, my feet are identical. And if you're ever around me in person, I will show you my feet. I'm quite proud of matching feet.
It's proof.
And the scar on my other one is almost non-existent. It was an ugly, ugly scar. I didn't wear sandals for a long time. But when you're bringing back the collagen, it remodels the scars. It fills in, it changes the colors.
Mhm.
It's really cool. And so anyway, yeah, I saved her that surgery and I got her the same combination of patches I've been using. She went back to her podiatrist for her pre-surgery and he looked at her foot and he was like, whoa, your inflammation's all gone. That's amazing. And then he really examined her foot, did some new imaging, and he said, you don't need a bunionectomy. Your bunion's not bad enough for that. All we're going to do is shave a joint because she had some fragments and stuff. That's a very simple surgery. That is not putting you in a recliner for 2 months. So she was 77 when she had that surgery. People at that age don't heal well after surgery. She healed beautifully. So
That's amazing. So
it's so fun to be able to help people learn how to heal.
So let me get this straight. Somebody told you about the patches. You received great benefit. Your husband received great benefit. All of these amazing changes in your body, and now you're sharing it with people.
That's all I
Helping
do.
more
It's
people.
it's nothing more than, you have a great hairstylist or you go to a great restaurant and you want to share with people you care about, right? Well, let me tell you, when they get
Absolutely.
big diagnoses of things and doctors say, like my father-in-law got diagnosed with
Oh,
rapid onset loss of words, and they said he would never
oh,
get those back. And when you witness the words come back in about 90
mhm.
days, a little fire ignites inside because it's like I have got, lightning canned in a jar here, and I just want to share this little jar with people and let them experience it for themselves. But 5 months words return. I mean memories, excuse me. 90 days worth, but the things with my mom, my own family really taught Eric and I the power of this because his mom canceled her shoulder replacement. This was during COVID. And we did not know that the patches that give you beautiful, pretty skin and hair, which is what she ordered, were
Mhm.
also lubrication of her shoulder and helping to regenerate ligaments and tendons. And
I
then
just had somebody tell me like that last night that Alavida was her favorite patch, and she had had her ankle shattered over 20 years ago in a motorcycle accident, and she wears the Alavida at night on her ankle, and then she wears Aeon during the day, an X39. But that Alavida was, she said, her favorite.
oh yeah, and that's my favorite too. Still is. Because I'm turning 60 and I am a sun worshiper. I used to live on Oahu. Every
Mhm.
vacation I go to is to the sunshine. Puerto Vallarta, California. I can't get enough sun. But what these keep doing for my skin, as I'm turning 60, I've had people ask me, did Eric get you a facelift? Like, no, it's my inflammation. It's hyaluronic acid. It's things in my body coming back to about age 30 on biometric
Absolutely.
markers. So yeah, it's pretty fun. But 90 days, my mom canceled her knee replacement surgery, or I didn't let her. She told me she wanted to because the pain was gone. I said, oh, no, no, no. We're in COVID. You've been waiting for a year and a half for this surgery. You're staying on that list, but we'll go talk to that doctor and let's see what he says. And they did new imaging. And he said, gee, your ligaments and tendons are coming back. And your cartilage is even coming back. I don't think we need to do that surgery right now. Let's just wait and see. Well, that was 3 years ago. No surgery. Bye-bye.
Absolutely amazing. So, Cherry shared in the chat. Thank you so much, Cherry, for sharing your experience. We met Cherry on Saturday at the women's event, and she says in the chat, I used the sleep patch you gave me a sample of on Saturday. I had the best REM sleep and deep sleep Saturday night from 10:30 p.m. until my alarm went off at 8:30 a.m.
Wow.
On Sunday, with a painful degenerating hip joint and intense restless leg syndrome. I hadn't slept that well in almost a year. It was amazing.
Wow. That
Amazing.
is so fantastic, Cherry.
Well, and we gave her a couple of patches earlier in the day, and that helped significantly with her pain in her hip as well. So I know that that combination is magic. But I'm so thankful for you that you felt results right away. I don't want anybody to thinking that it is a one patch fix and boom, I'm done. Some people don't feel anything for months, and then all of a sudden their laundry list of things that they are concerned about with their life, that their laundry list starts to melt away like ice cream on a hot stove. Man, it just goes away. But I can't tell you when that's going to happen. So I'd love to open it up. First of all, if you are on this call for the first time, like we invited a wonderful group of women at the women's event, I'd love for you to put your name in the chat, and I'd love to offer you a chance to win a 5-day supply of the X39. And so I'd love everybody, if you don't already use these patches, also to let us know if you are a 1 and you're like, oh, I need more information. I have questions. I don't know what this is. Or if you're a 2 and you're like, tell me how to get these in my hands. I need to try them now. And then, or if you're like Tracey and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm convinced that I need to try them, but I also have a ton of friends I want to share them with. Let us know if you're a 1, a 2, or a 3. 1 is, I need more I need my questions answered, and we're happy to do that. Oh, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sherry, awesome. Okay. Sherry, who invited you to this call? Yay! Awesome. Very cool. Awesome. Glad you're here, Sherry. And fantastic, Cherry. Awesome. Okay. Well, does anybody have any questions? Do we have any skeptics in the group? Like, how in the world can this silly sticker change my life? Or any questions? Now, we can't treat, diagnose, or cure, but if you're having symptoms of something, you can talk about your symptoms, and we can talk about the e-patches. When you have pain, do you put the sticker on the pain spot or in the area? Perfect question. So the general answer The X39 patch that we talk about tells your body to make the copper peptide. And when that copper peptide is present, so many wonderful things happen to literally go to the source of the problem and start regenerating your body. So over time, you don't have that problem anymore. But the X39, some people feel a pain relieving aspect, some people don't. The Aeon patch that I just put on my wrist tells your body to make an anti-inflammatory. I generally will put that on a spot of my body that hurts, but it also helps your body create happy neurochemistry. It's also called the happy patch, and it tells my body to, and so all of those things are systemic, so they go to where my body needs them the most. But the ones that are where you have to place for in a specific place for pain are called ice wave. And I think we did this on Saturday for pain relief. In fact, I do it for headaches. I don't have very many headaches anymore, but this is a 2-patch system. And so I will usually ask the person, where are you hurting the most? And place this patch where they point. And then I start asking them, where's the pain radiating to? And then we start going around and trying to find the spot that helps their body break the message of the pain from the ouchy spots going to the brain. So that is, that's our ice wave. So this one has to go on the pain location. The other two, I generally put them there on the pain location, but they create something that is systemic. So ice wave for the win. There's also a doctor in, I believe she's in California. When she discovered these, this doctor treats people with a degenerative disease, and she actually has it herself, that she likes to, for all over body pain, she likes to place an ice wave set here. And we, in that case, we would do tan on the left, white on the right, and at the bottoms of the feet, tan patch on the left and white on the right. And that helps your whole body reset your nervous system. It's wonderful. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Okay, I have 7 names here to do our drawing with. Or are you doing the wheel, Cami?
I can do the wheel. I just need to get the names.
Can I
If
make
you
a
want.
quick comment about the patches, Cami?
Yes, please.
You don't have to have things wrong with you to enjoy the patches.
Correct.
Like Dr. Stacy is super healthy. She's been doing all the kinds of cleanses and detoxes her whole life. You can use them like as an internal insurance policy. So if you don't have anything wrong, you're going to go right into age reversal. Like, God, could you imagine having started these at the age of 25 or 30? Or if you're an athlete, you know, it's going to help your endurance. It's going to help your performance. It's going to help you recover faster. So you don't have to have aches and pains and have all these things wrong with you to enjoy the benefits of the patches. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes, thank you
Very
so
good
much
point,
for that,
Jan.
Jan. I appreciate that as well. And Dr. Stacy is an amazing human being. And I must say that she's nearing 50, and her blood work says has the blood work or the internal workings of a 25-year-old.
Yeah, she just turned 51, actually.
Who does that? Is that? And then one of her close friends is like 60 or 61, and her blood work says that she's 25. And that's amazing. Like, and it's all natural. That's what I'm all a huge fan of, not doing invasive things to my body. I don't
Yeah, for
want,
sure.
if I can choose something inexpensive and non-invasive, that's my go-to, right? So
A question here, if they come in a variety pack, and what a great question, because when we get you a custom pack, we can sell them to you at wholesale. If you just buy like one pack here and one pack there, you pay retail. So we can get you double the product for the same price. So whoever invited you here would be happy to help you customize and discuss what your goals are. And they might just be prevention, or you
And
might be like me with a long list.
And typically in the beginning, you don't want to start with too many patches. We usually start people with just the X39 for stem cell and Aeon and for inflammation. Because if you do too many new patches at the same time, if you should have any kind of a detox or anything, you're going to go, oh, these patches are making me sick. So you're always better off to start with the X39 Aeon. Ice wave, if you have pain, give that a couple of weeks, and then if you want to add in some of the specialty patches, then you start adding them on. But we always recommend to start with just X39 and Aeon.
Perfect.
It's just
Perfect place.
it's personal choice, but that's what's recommended.
Thank you for that, Jan. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. We're so glad everybody was here tonight. Please stay on. We're continuing this, and we hope to see you back another time.